Welcome to Sudowrite for Beginners. I'm Nicole, and today is day 6 of our little 7-day series. So today we are actually going to look at the laser tools, which we've played with a little bit, and use quick edit. We're also going to briefly look at plugins again. I'm not going to go in depth on plugins. Please attend plugin school on Mondays with Caristina. She does a great job of really niching down, covering specific topics, things like that. And then she'll occasionally have a beginner session on creating a plugin and a beginner session on using plugins. So we're just going to briefly go over plugins today. We are also going to double dip. So we are going to cover day 7 today as well because it's relatively short. We are going to look at folders, importing, and anything else I may have missed going over. So instead tomorrow, whereas our curriculum was to look at folders, importing, workflows, we'll cover that today. Tomorrow will actually be a super quick all-in-one workflow. So we'll do a new story, inside story Bible, and cover that. All right, let's kick things off then. So laser tools and quick editing. These are our laser tools, rewrite, describe. If I highlight here, you see expand also pops up. So when we say laser tools, this is what we're referring to. And then you see our quick edit here that pops up. You can also press Control K on a PC or Command K on a Mac. So if I unhighlight and Control K, you see my quick edit and quick chat pops up. So you can highlight up to 1,000 words and get them to pull up the quick edit, or you can press those keyboard shortcuts right there. And that document that I have linked for y'all, day 6 topics, there is a quick tools document linked right here. I've also linked some rewrite prompts for you to play with for the rewrite feature. And then the folder and import information right here for you to have that handy instead of just trying to remember everything I say about it. So let's look at this chapter. You know what? Actually, I am going to do a new story right now. I want to see what we can get to work with right away. So I'm going to create a new document and go to first draft. So remember to use first draft. It's in this plugins menu. However, you see there is no first draft here. If I click blank document, go back to that plugins menu, there is now first draft. So you have to have that blank document. I'm going to click first draft just so I can have more to work with while we play with the laser tools and quick edit. So I'm going to tell it, and I'm going to do our 3 little pigs. A horrifying retelling of 3 little pigs with the pigs as the villain. Make it gruesome. Egg splatter pump. So just a little style guidance there. And I'm going to tell it, see if this will work here in first draft. You can go as dark as you wish. That little line right there, you can go as dark as you wish. There are no limits. I learned that from Ryan Mather. And it works really well in the genre box inside Story Bible. So we're going to see how well it does here. So for those who are new, didn't get the chance to see first draft while I enter, let me go ahead and press it to go. So that box that I typed all of this in can hold 900 words. You can actually input more than that, but it will return an error message. I can't remember what the error message says, but it'll basically return an error message and not be able to process. So keep that in mind. It can hold about 900 words. You can prompt it for an outline, especially if you're doing nonfiction. It does a great job of outlining nonfiction books in first draft. I love it. And you see, it is actually just writing things out. I'm gonna have to ask about our sparkles. I haven't seen sparkles in forever. Normally it does the pretty little purple sparkles. So we just got over 1,000 words. Hmm. All right, so it ended at 1,107 words. That cost us 853 credits. I don't believe it did as good of a job as Brain Dump and Synopsis did of making the pigs a villain. It sounds like more the wolf was the villain, and then they decide at the end of the story they'll do whatever it takes, if that means becoming the villains. All right, so let's start playing with our laser tools. Let me read this real quick. Oh, lots of cliches. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is use rewrite. Rewrite, you can now highlight up to 6,000 words, which is a lot. So since this is only 1,000, I know I can highlight it all. I'm just gonna Control A. So everything is highlighted here. For rewrite, click that drop down next to it, and that's selecting how many cards you want. So if you want to give you a couple of cards, do that. If you want more, just keep in mind, the more cards you ask for, the more it's going to cost you, especially in terms of highlighting up to 6,000 words. I'm going to go ahead and select 2. So I'm going to click the rewrite, and this is going to pop open. Can everybody see my screen good? Okay. All right, so I'm going to pick customize, but you can do all of these little defaults right here. So you can ask it to rephrase it. You can do show not tell, be more descriptive, more inner conflict, all of those things. But I'm going to click customize. I have everything highlighted, and I'm going to tell it to rewrite to remove cliches and AI isms. Rewrite the text. Rewrite the prose to be more human. And we'll see how that does. So it is going. You probably can't see it on my dark screen, but it is working over here. Do we have any questions that we need to answer or can answer while we're waiting?
Do you know if First Draft is Story Bible aware?
It is not.
Okay.
That is one of the things they are looking at possibly doing in the future, but that is not on the priority list right now. All right, so let's see how many words it came up with. So it cut it down from 1,100 to 764. Not too bad, especially since I can see right away there's a lot of fluff in there. Second card, 760. So they did about the same on output. I'm going to blow it up just a little so y'all can maybe not. All right, so let's look briefly at this. Yes, Sawyer.
I'm sorry, I'm new. I don't know what an AI-ism is.
So
What is it?
it's more of just those phrases that once you're working with the AI, you'll see they all like to spit out. And it's kind of just an overall general term to group everything. So
Now,
like this is actually a dialogue tag thing, but I also refer to it as an AI-ism when it talks about things like their hearts palpitating, the tension's palpable, stilling their spine, things like that. It's just all those little kind of cliches. Basically, it's another word for cliches, but the AIs love to use them.
I think in an earlier video you'd said that AIism didn't really work. Is that new then? That it works?
It works pretty well. Is it going to be perfect? No, but it does know, like if I went to ChatGPT and asked it what an AI-ism is, it does understand. Now,
That's
how well it
intriguing.
will remove that, because again, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You're asking an AI to remove AI-isms. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't work great, but it can be a nice little editing thing. And that's also why I reinforced. I used both words, cliches and AI-isms. And then I also did this phrase right here, rewrite the prose to be more human, humanize the prose. Those work better. But I'm just using it all and reinforcing everything. And if anybody has a better explanation for AI-isms, please speak up. All right, so let's just look at the beginnings of each of these. I'm not liking that. Okay, so still very, just not following my style, which I didn't give it much style. This one's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to actually insert the second card. Again, this is just, it could be so much better here, but I'm just trying to get us through this so we can see. Need to delete all that. Put my cursor here and insert this. So now we can actually start playing with more. So if I'm editing, I'm going to go through, I know I'm going to get rid of things like this. I'm always going to say said. Maybe see if anything else stands out. I typically don't like a lot of these little cliche phrasings right here. The similes and metaphor type stuff, I don't care for. So all of that manual editing, that would be my first task, to start making prose sound like me. So just getting rid of that. I'm not going to go through and do everything, but just to give an example of what I would do. I actually kind of like this, but I think it could be better. So I am going to highlight this again. Now I'm going to use Quick Edit. So I'm going to tell Quick Edit to open this story with a catchy. So open this story with a catchy hook. And let's see what it comes up with. Tension thick enough to slice with a knife. So I don't care for it. I do like the second sentence. That's good, but I'm going to actually go ahead and reject this. And this works in my favor. So I can come over here to plugins now. So yes, we're going to be jumping back and forth with all of these features, y'all. This is how you start putting your workflow together, deciding what feature works best for that step that you currently need. So I know I want a better opening right here. So I'm going to jump over to plugins. We'll talk about this, and we're going to use a plugin I recently made. So for plugins, come here to explore plugins. You can just start scrolling through, seeing what all there is, what's popular, the newest. You can select a category over here. So if I want some editing plugins, I can start looking right here and just add whatever you want. Whenever you've added some, you can click on this tag right here, the added, and you'll see all of them that you've added, and you can actually remove them. And then you can click on yours, so if you've made any. And I have no clue why mine, oh, there we go. To say, I know I have more than that. All right, so we are going to use this hook suggestions one that I made the other day. But you can see these are all the ones that I've made. you can search for something. So if I come back over here, let's say scenes just came out and I want something to help me improve my scenes. So I'm going to type in scenes. And you'll see all of the stuff. Most of these look like they're about sexual content. Let's look at dialogue. So I can go through here and see which ones I like for dialogue and want to try out. Scroll down and pick one you want. If you want to try it, just click that add button and it's going to pop up in your list, and you can always remove it as well. So we're not going to go through how to create a plugin. Again, attend Christina's class on that, but they are very simple, y'all. I promise they are not as daunting as they look. And even better, you could actually use something like ChatGPT and have it help you create the plugin. Like you can say, hey, I want a plugin that does such and such. Please give me the instructions. It will give you the instructions, and you can put things like that in the box right here where it says your instructions. You can also go to the Discord. And I don't have the plugins channel. Let me grab that. So in the plugins channel, you can actually tell it what kind of plugin you want. Does anybody have a good idea for one?
Can you do on like character arc or something? Thought that was interesting.
So a plugin that shows the protagonist character arc, or would you want to see?
Yeah, that was pretty much what I'm working on right now.
Okay. So you can say, I wish I had a plugin that showed. You can say the protagonist, the villain, all the character arcs. I'm going to say, wish I had a plugin that showed character arcs. And how the character grows through each major event. Now, I'm not going to actually publish this or anything because it takes a while for it to go through. But basically, come to this plugin channel, write out whatever you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Tell it what you want. So if I know I want to be able to tell the plugin which character. So you do that, but really all you have to do is use the character input instructions to do that. But I would like it to have that information when it creates it. So I would click enter here, and then there's a few of us with an ability to come behind you. Let me scroll up and try to find one. Of course, no, there's not going to be one right here for me to show you. Oh wait, it's in the plugins. My bad. I'm in the plugins channel. I'm not in the plugins channel. Look at that. Here we go. So you see right here, somebody had wanted a plugin. Let me find. I wish I had a plugin that would allow me to copy and paste prose into the user input field, yada, yada, yada. So all these things. Somebody came behind, in this case, Sudowrite came behind and did the little magic wand. And Sudowrite, let's look at the time frame here. So wasn't quite an hour, but that is the time frame. So this is not immediate, y'all. That's why I'm not doing it. But it will come back and actually tell you all of the things right here. So you see that part where I said I want to be able to tell the plugin which character to use. That way it can say, hey, make sure you have that user input text little variable right here. But it's basically telling you everything that you can put to create that plugin right here, and you would just follow each step. This goes in the user box. This goes in the system box. All of those little things. So very helpful right there. But definitely attend Christina's class to learn more about the plugins. So I have my plugins here. I have a lot. You can also reorder this menu. So click that and you can just drag them however you want. You know, go to the bottom, drag some to the top, whatever you need. So let me find that. I'm gonna grab this one. Drop it at the top. Close this box out. And now it is at the top instead of me needing to scroll down. I wish there was better organization for this, but this is what we have at the moment. So I'm going to highlight this and click to run that plugin. Some plugins you don't actually need to highlight. Some plugins will just look at everything. So you need to read the instructions for each plugin. All right. I like this one. If that thing gets in, we're dead. All right. I actually like both of these. So I'm going to click that one and this one. And so I can now go back to my other rewrite tools. So I can come back over here to quick edit and tell it to rewrite this to be more cohesive. I could tell it to rearrange. Like if I know I've made a lot of adjustments, I can ask it to rearrange. And click edit. Again, it's going to red out those. And it's decided the other sentence needs to be first. So the first impact nearly tore the door off its hinges. Don't like it. So again, I can reject it right here. I actually just like this one. I like this one better with those two sentences together. Let's see, it had been weeks since they decided to leave the safety of their shelter. I am going to click this. 2, 3, 4. Let me count, sorry. Visualize is not coming up. Anybody know why visualize is not coming up, co-host? But anyways, I want an image of this, right? This is great for when I want to imagine my characters, get a picture of them in my head, or get a setting location. So normally visualize pops up right here. I do have my 10 words.
It's in the plugins.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why it didn't pop up here too. Is it only in the plugins now?
I thought it's only in the plugins. I didn't see it in the bar for a long time.
So I scroll down here and I'm going to click visualize. So normally my next part would be to tell you, you can highlight up to 100 here. That would pop up in the toolbar and you can use it. If you need to highlight more, go to the plugins. But now it looks like you just go straight to the plugins. I can't remember the exact word limit. It's 150 or 200 to be able to use visualize in this drop down right here. And this is what it gave us for an image. So these little things right here these little things right here are good for you as an author, just to kind of cement things in your head. Know how your character looks, know how your castle looks, how that character's home looks, their car, whatever you want, the spaceship. But they can also be good for marketing materials. Like put something like this with a little snippet of your line that, of your story that really grabs that reader's attention. Great for marketing right there to start building up the hype for your book. So this one's actually really good. I would love some creepy little line up here. I like that. So that is visualize. And in addition to that, we're going to start looking at describe. I want to find,
Once you get that visual, do you then save it outside to another document?
I typically just have it in here.
Oh,
I do the insert here because I like to have like a character bio sheet with my character
Yeah.
details and them, or I will bring it into
does that then
Notion.
export with the document?
I always do the right click, the save image, and just save it to my computer. I'm just a sucker for right clicking and doing all those things. So this one, let me just grab that. Try to find where I saved it for. Okay, we're not going to waste much of time if I can't find it here. Here we go. So like I saved those for my settings for one of my stories right here. Just right click the picture, save it to my computer, and then I put it in here just as a little glance. I wanted to find something
have a
about the,
question.
yes, ma'am.
If you have the picture, can it help you figure out, like, if you want to like describe a character or describe the house, how would you do that? I mean, would the picture help you do the description, or you have to kind of already have the description for the picture to generate?
So I actually did that not too long ago. So you know what? We know Quick Chat. I was looking for a thing about the wolf so I can do the description, the describe feature on the wolf, but let's do this. So I know Quick Chat will look at things. I'm going to highlight so it sees all of that. Click Quick Edit, and I'm going to go to Quick Chat. And let me see if I can remember the type of prompt that I used. Give me a description of the wolf from this story and a prompt that I can give to AI to create an image of the wolf. So I did this with like a setting, I highlighted how it talked about it was a post-apocalypse thing. So, it was like the world had been overgrown and crumbled buildings and all that. So you can tell it to give me a description and a prompt for the AI to create the image. And there we go. So I can actually take all of this. So those who haven't been here, remember Quick Chat, Quick Edit. Well, Quick Chat does not save this, so I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to throw it down here to make it easy. So we'll do this two ways. Now that I have a description of the wolf right here, I'm going to click this and use the describe feature. Click this drop down by describe. You can turn these off. So if you don't want a metaphor, you don't want to know what the wolf tastes like, you can turn those off. Just remember, this carries over from project to project. So if I turn something off here, say if I turn off taste, I go into another project. Well, now I have a chef doing stuff and I actually want to know what the meals taste like. I need to turn that back on in that project. I typically leave them on, but definitely you do you. So highlight that and I'm going to click describe. You could click it here. It does not matter. I could also start using these to use visualize. But this is a way you'll see it gives you 3 different options within the card. This isn't like meant to be an all-in-one. It's 3 different options to see what you prefer. And I have just taken a line or 2 from each one, added that into my prose just to make it sound more immersive. This is one of the, I would say, middle part of my editing. First round of editing, I've gone through, removed all that wording I hate, added in my own ideas. Second round, I'm typically expanding, and I will start adding in things like this just to make that scene nice and immersive for the reader. The smell of wet fur and earth translates. So
Can you take a picture and go the other way around? Like if you have a picture of the wolf?
It
And then-
cannot do that. No,
Okay.
ma'am. You can in ChatGPT, and Visualize is using Dolly 3, but it can't do that yet.
Oh.
Metaphor is also another good one to get images from. Let's see what this did. So it gave us our prompt right here. So I'm going to use Visualize. And there is our wolf with tree limb pieces. Other than that, I really like it. Let's see, what did it say? Muscular build. It kind of took the forest part of it. Oh, not bad, but I don't like any of this, of course. This would probably be an image I would actually cut and keep the head. Or just try it again. All right, so that is Visualize, Describe. Let's see. So we have the safety of the human village. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go back to the rewrite. And I want to show not tell that. So again, you can use those drop downs, that the defaults. Put in your own prompt inside customize. There is, I did link in that document, the rewrite prompts, a bunch of things here for you to play with. This one is really good. It says for my beat rewrite prompt, but it's actually good for other things. But lots of others here for you to play with. So let's say I want to change my POV, or it didn't quite sound like how that character wants to sound. I need that character to sound. If that character sounds like a jerk, hey, rewrite it to sound like a jerk. If it's a pirate, rewrite this to sound like a pirate. The possibilities are endless.
Can you put a link to that again? Because I kind of came in
Mhm.
late. Thank you, thank you.
It's this document right here, and all of the others are linked in there.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so for show not tell, let me get this open for y'all. So a little bit better. It still has all those, it just sounds like AI to me, but this is a good start. You know, for me not editing any of this, that's why my first round is me going through making my own edits, because all of these subsequent edits will sound better. But it is still better than what the original was, a little bit more immersive. So I can, if I only like a couple of sentences, I can just copy it there. I can copy the whole thing here or just insert. Something to know about inserting. So you see here, I have this highlighted. If you have something highlighted and you click insert, it is going to replace that. So all of this right here that I have highlighted is going to go away because I just had it highlighted and I clicked insert. Oops. So now it's a completely new thing. So if you don't want that to happen, you don't want it to remove it, don't highlight it, just put your cursor wherever you want that part inserted and then click that insert, or again, manually copy, whatever you want. So if it's highlighted, it's going to get replaced. All right, so we have covered the write features. We've covered rewrite, describe. We looked at brainstorm the first day. We've gone over plugins briefly. And expand is going to be the last laser tool. We looked at quick edit and quick chat, but I want y'all to also look at this document that I linked here, this quick tools and quick chat. Scroll down. And there are some different prompts. Quick chat is very versatile. If you can ask it in Chat GPT, you can ask it inside Quick Chat. It may cut off the response. You can just tell it to continue. But in this one, I've given you lots of different prompts for you to play with and see how versatile it is. So please play around with those. And again, as long as you have it off, toggled off, right here, it is free. Quick Chat and Quick Edit. That toggle off. If you toggle it on where it's purple, well, on my end it's purple, it's going to use credits. I love the free version. It works great for most things. All right, so let's find something to use expand on real quick. Sorry, I need to minimize it a little bit so I can see more. All right, so I want to expand this a little bit more. You know, this is the actual fight, and I can just do one paragraph at a time. Expand is using Muse now. And it is Story Bible aware. So previously, before the release of Muse, it was not Story Bible aware. It used probably 3.5 or one of those others. Now, with the release of Muse, it is using Muse, and it is aware of your Story Bible. So it knows your genre, it knows what your settings look like, your characters, things like that. So it gave us, how many words did I highlight? I did not notice, 150. So I highlighted 150 words, and it gave 351. So it approximately doubles everything. For hours they sat ready, makeshift weapons in hand, as the wolf finally launched its assault. Over here, for tense, drawn-out hours they waited. Better. Some phrasing I don't like, but you can see how it does get more descriptive. So again, I can just insert that. Now let's say I like some of the wording over here and it changed it too much and I don't like it as much over here. That's an instance where I would not have it highlighted and I would just make a big gap just for my old eyes. And then I would insert it right here. And then I would start playing with it manually, deciding, okay, I'm taking this line right here, putting it up here, just manually combining those. Or highlight this. You can do quick edit or quick chat. So let's look at quick chat real quick. And I'm going to turn on the higher quality. So rewrite the highlighted text and rearrange as needed. Thank you, Stacy, for the wording. To make the scene more intense, vivid, immersive, and cohesive. So I'm going to use this in quick chat and quick edit just so you can see. So this is quick chat. So yes, it will highlight, it just won't X out it won't do the red lines and everything. I like the questions here. I didn't notice if that was in the other one. Let me scroll down. Yeah, it's not. So I do actually like part of this. Like even if it's only just those questions, I like it. And that's something I would want to throw in there. So this is what Quick Chat did. I could tell it to continue this scene. And it will keep continuing for me.
Did I miss how you inserted into the copy?
For quick chat here, you actually need to manually
Copy and
highlight
paste.
it and copy because there's no
Okay.
save. They are working on a new UI for this. It's basically going to get overhauled sometime in the future. Don't know how far away, if it's a sooner rather than later thing, but they are going to kind of overhaul quick chat. So we hopefully won't have to do that.
Okay.
So that was the quick chat version. Now let's look at what quick edit's going to give us, and I'll leave it on high quality too for comparison. There's so much you can do. Like quick chat will help you flesh out your characters. It will help give you character ideas. You know, tell it you want some characters with certain archetypes, or if you want to, what's that word called? Where you flip the archetypes. I can't remember. Subvert. Like you want to subvert, it will help you work through all of those. Quick chat is amazing as a writing partner. And of course, quick edit, you can see what all it does. But I will tell you right now, I probably use quick chat way more, even for editing things, because you saw it would actually do that for me. And this is what quick edit gave. And I'm just going to go ahead and accept that versus reading through. Right. There are some little features right here that you can go through. I will say these are kind of outdated, okay? Visualize is really, well, first draft, if first draft was in here, first draft and visualize are really the only ones that I typically use. But twist will give you something. Let's see, I'm trying to find a sentence right here. I'm just going to copy this one. I'm going to go to twist. You really only have these three right here. Just going to click literary. Put whatever little segment in that you want a twist for, click that. It's going to give you a huge range from things that are plausible to things that are just don't add up with the story. I have asked them to kind of tweak the prompting here for that. So it gives you what you originally gave it, and then it will give you some ideas for ways to change up the story and add in those little twists. So just as all hope seems lost, the wolf suddenly transforms into a handsome prince. Okay. So you can see here, it has some work that it needs to be done. But something in here may spark another idea. It's fun to play with for mysteries or psychological thrillers. Another feature in here is poem, topic. Now let's do Three Little Pigs as villains. And I'm just going to submit there. People have used poems for song lyrics. So y'all might want to try that. I tried it out for a prophecy. Didn't work great, but I was able to use some of the content. But you see here, it does give a little poem. So maybe your character wants to write a poem to their love interest, or your killer leaves little poems for their victims. See what that work, how that works. Serial killer who leaves a poem and his victims. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this. I might throw this into my Jack the Ripper story. All right, so that's poem. And the other is feedback. So feedback, I don't think I've gotten confirmation if it's 30K or 50K, but it will read that many words. For sure 30K, maybe up to 50K. And then it will give you some output right here. So it works better, obviously, the more you have inside the document that it's going to read. Pigs are faced with a dangerous predator. They're determined to survive. And then it gives you some little feedback. So a few areas which merit further exploration, the wolf's motivation, humans' involvement, and the pig's emotions. Yes, so definitely, there shows you right there, I need to go in and add some depth to the pig's emotions and other things that you could flesh out for your stories if there are any holes. That's also a way you could work with quick chat. Again, you can only highlight up to 1,000 words, but you can kind of take it a little bit of a chapter at a time and ask quick chat things like, have I conveyed this character's emotions properly? Does this character's actions reflect their personality, their goals, their motivations, all of that? Because it does read your character card, so it can tell you, no, this character probably wouldn't say that. All right, a couple of other things to look at. Won't be as far over the hour as I thought. So this over here is a lot of documents, right? A lot. You can actually organize this. So if I click this new over here at the top left, and get this over. If I click this new at the top left, I can do a folder. So I can do a folder, a blank document, or grab a chapter from my outline. I'm going to click folder. It's going to come down here. And I can name it, I see I have chapter 1. So maybe I want to organize each of my chapters if I'm doing multiple of each. Chapter 1. So I can name that. And then I can start putting in all of these. Wow, we really had a lot of chapter 1s, huh? So that cleans it up a little bit. And to show you how you can get creative with this, let me find my project. Sorry for all the scrolling, y'all. So this is an example of a template I created. So there's actually nothing in here. If I'm clicking these arrows, you'll see there's not much in here. These are all templates. So what I can do with this project right here, let me go back one more time. With this project, I can set it up to where I know I want my documents organized this way. This is the way I work best. This is what's going to work for me. Set up that template like this one is. And when I'm ready to create a new story, I can come over here and duplicate it. Give that just a couple of minutes while it's duplicating. And voila, I now have everything organized over here, ready for me to work whichever way I prefer. And I can start whatever that new story is. And I've still saved my master copy template for future use. So this is just one way to set up. I took my Scrivener template and I created a version inside Sudowrite. So I have a spot for a document for my blurb, titles as I think of them, any hooks and pitches. I have a folder for my characters, a naming plugin that I use inside Sudowrite. So I have my template here for it. And then each character has their own folder as well. So I can look at their description, their arc, notes, things like that. Similar to world building, I have a world building folder with my settings, and each setting will have its own little details right here, and I can just easily go in and copy that. It's just an example of the things you can do with the folders. Something else you can also do is create a blank document. We learned this a long time ago from Leland. So where the name is, do some lines. I can do some emojis. What is the deal? So I can put the little emoji there. And this can act as a separator. So if you do have a lot of documents, you don't want to do a folder, or maybe you have a lot of folders and you just want something to kind of break up that monotony, you can do little things like this. So this is just a blank document. It would stay a blank document. All I did was put that little name in for a visual break right there. And of course I could duplicate this if I want. So let's say you did your chapter 1. We have our scenes generated and everything. I like this. I want to work with it some more. Maybe I kind of like the prose here. I don't want to mess it up too much, but I also want to experiment with working on this prose. I can duplicate this project, this document. Click the 3 dots, click duplicate. It will create that copy for you. So here's my copy now, my scene, all that prose. I have it there to play with if for whatever reason I want to keep that original as is and not mess it up. So that's folder, blank import, my blank document. This import right here is for if you want to import a document. This is not the novel import that's going to fill out your story Bible. This is saying, oh, I have 3 chapters written somewhere. I want to bring those in so I can work with it in Sudowrite. This import is handy for whenever you have your story written out and all you're using Sudowrite for is really for editing. You can import each document and it'll show up here on the left. Yes, you do have to do one at a time. Sorry. For exporting, if you just want to export a single document, the export right here. Let's go to the home page. So let's say I am done with this story. I am ready. I need it somewhere else. Click those 3 dots and now I can export, and it's going to export all of the documents that were in that folder or in that project. It is not going to export your story Bible. So it's not going to export your synopsis, your brain dump, your outline, things like that. If you want those things. So for brain dump, I would just come here, copy it, put it in a blank document. Same thing for synopsis and my genre and style if I want those. For characters, once your characters are done and you want them, click that 3 dots. You can click the export right here and it will save those. It is not available for world building, but that is on their priority list. So world building, you can't import or export yet. Outline, I can export that one. I can duplicate the project like I showed. I can move it to a folder. So let's look over here. This is where you create a new project. Project is going to create just like one of these right here. I'm in a project, can get started on a new book. The other options are folder and series. So folder, click to create a folder right here. I can name it. This is good for organizing. So title it whatever I want, and I can just start dragging things in here. And it starts clearing up my screen. And then I can go into that folder and grab whatever I need. The difference between folder right here and series folder is if I go into this one, scroll down to characters, you'll see I have no characters. One little world building thing, Eldoria. So no characters, right? That is a regular folder. If I do this series folder, so I think my Jack is the only one I have here. So this is a series folder. You see the difference? Up here, this one has where it says the books and series. So if I go into Jack and I scroll down, you see these duplicates right here? That's because I have a copy of this project. It was for demo purposes. That's why it's duplicated. So inside a series folder, all of your projects are going to share characters and world building. So if you're starting a series, create that first project, put it in a series folder, and then all of your subsequent books in that series, you do not have to recreate those characters. Just add any new ones that you need. Your other characters, it will already see and it will already be there in that project. You can also see the outlines for the other books. And you can even make changes. So I'm in the Jack the Ripper, the original. If I go into the copy outline right here, I can actually start making changes if I want. I can edit this. So that's the difference between the regular folder and the series folder. This import that's on the home page. So remember, there's the import that's inside a project where you import a single document. This import is the one that will fill out your story Bible for you. So what I typically use this for is I like to do all my brainstorming in ChatGPT. I spend a few days fleshing out, my characters, my plot points, things like that. And then I always get to this point where I'm overwhelmed. Either I have no clue what I'm supposed to do next. I can't remember everything I fleshed out. I can't even remember all of those details. I don't know where to pick up. I'm just overwhelmed. I will take that ChatGPT conversation, put it in a document, and I will upload it here inside Novel Import, this main import. I don't know if I have it on this account or the other one. Let me do a search. So you can search for projects right here. It is not pulling up. So I'm going to jump over to my other project so y'all can see this. So if I click on this search again, here we go. So this is an example of one of the projects where I imported from chat. So you can see it was just over 18,000 words, nothing big. But it will create one document of what you import. So you don't lose that import. You don't have to go track it down somewhere else. It is right here in this document. This is essentially everything I imported, and it starts filling out your story Bible for you. So if I scroll down, you'll see it filled out my genre for me. Of course, I can edit it as needed. Doesn't do the style. And it also gave my synopsis for me. And then it filled out my characters and my world building. So I did not have to do anything. All I have to do is go in and start making changes and adjustments to make sure everything's in line. So I love that Novel import for really helping me to get back on track. So now when I get overwhelmed, I import it inside Sudowrite. It fills out that story Bible for me, and I can see, oh, I didn't finish fleshing this character out. Oh no, I forgot I didn't like this trait. Let me fix that. I need to work on this setting, this plot point, things like that, because it does also do your outline for you. So it did my outline. So it's just a way it works very well with my brain now. It's broken things down and I know, okay, go look at this. One of the other things that we did not go over yet was find and replace. Let me just go into here. So there is this little magnifying glass right here. It only works in that document that you're in. And of course, I'm in the project where I didn't have anything saved. All right, so I can click that, look for Lily, and it's in her POV. So let me go look at Rose, and it will find everywhere for Rose. So if I decide I want to change her name, I can go through, I can just replace it and click that replace all if I want, or go through each one as needed. So there is the find and replace here, but it only works per document that you're in. Global find and replace has been requested. And of course, these are just your normal workflow options, your headers, your fonts, the underline, bold, italics, all of that. Right, I am going to go ahead and stop the recording before I make sure I got caught up with everything. So tomorrow for day 7, we will start over inside Story Bible. We will create a new project and kind of go through all of those boxes. So I look forward to seeing y'all there. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.